To follow the breaking news of the afternoon, Charlie Kirk, a conservative youth activist and CEO of Turning Point USA, died today after being shot in the neck at an event at a college in Utah.
Videos posted to social media show Kirk speaking into a handheld microphone at Utah Valley University while sitting under a white tent. A single shot rings out and Kirk reaches for his neck. A suspect has not been apprehended. Maine leaders are reacting to Kirk's death, condemning political violence.
Governor Mills said on X, quote, "In America, differing views, regardless of who holds them and how much you may detest them, should never be met with violence."
Senator Angus King said in part, quote, "This isn't about Democrats and Republicans. It's about protecting the ideals in our Constitution to peacefully assemble and exchange ideas. We can challenge each other's views without violence. It's common sense."
And Congressman Jared Golden said his prayers are with the Kirk family, adding, quote, "If someone can be shot for views you detest, then they can be shot for views you hold dear. That's why a free nation cannot tolerate political violence."
And the Maine GOP chairman, Jim Direman, called Kirk a, quote, "good Christian man, unafraid to boldly proclaim his beliefs," unquote. He went on to say, "The political rhetoric in our nation has gone too far and is leading to greater political violence. It is incumbent upon all of us to think before we speak and to demand better for the generations that follow us," unquote. And here's what Senator Susan Collins had to say.
There is just no justification for the political violence that we're seeing in this country.